Hello, everybody. Today is an exciting day in our module on hormones and sexual health. I have one of my good friends and the owner and founder of Hot Rocks, which is an amazing, amazing product on the market, unlike anything else. And we're going to talk about it today. And so Julie Wilson is here with us. And
Hi, how are you?
hi, Julie, and so
Thank
glad
you
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
Excellent. This is wonderful. And we're just going to talk about it today. But before we start, I thought we'd start off in fashion and take our dose of Hot Rocks.
Look, I'm taking mine on the East Coast. You're taking yours on the West Coast.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's right. California style, East Coast style. It works anywhere you go. We're going to...
What are you drinking, by the way? I've got fresh squeezed grapefruit juice over here.
You know what? I've just got some fresh spring water with some extra pH in it and some other
Even better
goodies. So, yeah, it's awesome. And I am a huge proponent of Hot Rocks. And Hot Rocks is amazing because it's really been in the mainstream, which is great. And I think it's for me, it's quite humorous because I would guess that a lot of people who are using it in the mainstream have no idea that they're taking something that is so good for them. It has so many health benefits at the same time. And it probably seems like it's more equating to a typical like aphrodisiac pill or a pharmaceutical drug. And we're going to talk about today how completely opposite it is and totally different than what you would expect or think. So we'll ask you some questions. I think that, Julie, if you would just click your video on and off because it kind of froze up a little bit, but I want to make sure. There you are. You're there.
You see me now?
Got it. Don't want to lose that beautiful face.
It's very bright today. The sun is bright here in North Carolina,
Awesome.
Which I'm not complaining, but it's a little. I can't really hardly see you that well, but it's okay. I'm soaking up the vitamin D. It's good.
That's right. We both are. I have a little bit more shade right now, but it's all good. So I want to talk about how it's different, just to start out with. How is this different? It's obviously touted as a aphrodisiac, but really it's superfoods. And these superfoods are actually a lot of the ingredients are things that I recommend to my patients just to help balance their hormones or to increase their vitality, things like that. So for me, I use it not just it's not just always a sexual directive. It's not a sexual enhancement per se. It's really about what it does for your body in general. And for me, I have this, whatever extra vitality I get to direct it down whatever path I want to direct it. So for me, I use it in business a lot. It helps me be on. So, yeah, how would you just kind of explain to just the mainstream of like what's the difference between this and a pharmaceutical drug?
Well, that's a great question. The whole premise behind inventing Hot Rocks formula was because I was disgusted with seeing a lot of products that claim to be all natural, and some of them are, but some of them are not, and they're laced with harmful chemicals, harsh stimulants, and so a lot of times people nowadays want to feel something immediately. You know, they have that, they're so used to pharmaceutical drugs. They take something, they have this instant effect, and a lot of the supplements that are out there are laced with things to give you a rush or some sort of a crazy feeling like instantly, so you think it's doing something for you, and in turn it's really not. It's psychological. So we've taken the whole theory of superfoods, real raw organic herbs, we've put them together in a vegan capsule, and we've marketed in a way that's very edgy and appealing to the mainstream. I mean, you see our bottles are black and red and fiery and sexy, and it's in a way that's appealing to the mainstream because I saw so many people who did not like my message for so long, and I didn't know why. They're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a hippie, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I started realizing there's a stigma associated a lot of times with raw organics. Not as much anymore, and especially not where you live. But where I live in North Carolina, there's still a big stigma about it, and people aren't as receptive.
There still is now,
So,
even with as much information out there. It's
yes.
somehow our culture only in America has made an apple seem voodoo or alternative. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
we've
yeah.
gone so far the other way. So yeah,
And
still
and
there.
so many folks that are in the industry, and I love them all. I mean, I completely believe what they preach, and I'm for it. But they do it in a way that I feel is preaching to the choir. And so I thought we could really open up the door here and really get the word out about what we're passionate about, and that's health and healing the body from the inside out and doing stuff to improve the vitality, not just about a pill, but about a lifestyle.
Hmm.
And the only way that I'm going to be able to get these people attention is if I market it in a way that they'll appreciate.
Hmm.
And so we sat down and came up with this formula, which is, like you said, superfood injected. We have tons of like really powerful, well, there's just seven herbs and
Hmm.
superfoods in it, and a vegan capsule. And then we packaged it and marketed it in a way that's very different and unique. And we've had people from, I mean, everyone from Playboy Radio. I've been interviewed on the Bubba the Love Sponge show, which is a huge show in Florida. He's like the Howard Stern, which we've been, in fact, and Howard Stern has expressed interest in our product as well. We've been on websites and all types of media that we've gotten attention from just because of who we are and the buzz that we've generated. And then I've been able to use that angle to really educate. And people, it's changing people's lives. They're like, I love this. And then all of a sudden they want dietary tips and they love the way that it's making them feel. So what if they implemented something else? And so we have NFL players taking it. We have college students taking it. We have rock stars, famous rock stars taking it. These are all people that typically would not be prone to trying something so hippie. And it's working. It's working really well for us.
What a great way to impact the world. I mean, you're speaking their language, and they have no idea what you're doing for them. These people have no idea that you're protecting them from, from things like cancer by helping to regulate their hormones and things like that. It's just amazing. I mean, it's this beautiful little product, but packaged in a way that looks like it's almost. I want to say something bad. It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's.
Well, we just went to the the Natural Products Expo East in Baltimore, and it was so interesting because we were there, and we're kind of like the black sheep in the health food industry. But we appeal to the adult market too. So if we go to those trade shows, we're like the white horse. So it's like we have this. We're healthy.
Such a
We're
polarity.
yeah, and it's like, and what I've coined the term, we're bringing sexy into the health food industry, and we're bringing healthy into the sex industry. That's exactly what we're doing because those two worlds have not really collided, and I think it's time. It's
Yeah.
time. Sex sells definitely, but there's a whole, like you and I were speaking before we even started this. There's so much more to feeling sexy than having sex. I mean, you want to be healthy is to be sexy.
Yeah.
And a lot
And
of
I
people
think
just aren't healthy.
sensuality is a big piece of that. I think when you don't feel good about yourself, I know for me, like I used to be 50 pounds overweight, and I know how much it affected every aspect of my life to not feel good about myself. But at the same time, I still always had that jing. I always had that in the back of my head. Like I still knew my value. I still cared about me. And so even the physical appearance wasn't if it wasn't where I wanted it to be, I still had that. But when I started really nourishing my body, it's like now I don't even care. I don't care. I still have friends that are totally thin or whatever picture perfect, you want to make. And they still aren't confident with themselves. And I'm like, hey, I'm a big girl. I'm not a skinny
Yeah.
mini, and I don't care. I don't even think about that. And really things like this, and when you feel good inside, it's like that jing, which is in Chinese medicine is your essence. That's what makes you, that's your vitality. And now it's like, I don't even think about physical appearance as much as I think about, how do I feel for myself? And that's what I think people experience. People
Yeah.
experience, I think, your essence more than they care so much about your physical appearance.
Sure. Of course. Of
And
course.
so that's why I
I
love this.
wrote an article about what is sexy anyway, and it was about you can be a really beautiful person, even on the inside and out,
Right.
and not be sexy.
Yeah.
And you can be like not that attractive as far as industry standards
Right.
set forth, and still be extremely sexy. So there is a difference, and I do think it's attributed a lot to the Jing. the essence. I mean, and we could have a whole interview just on Jing alone. I mean, it's so
Right.
fascinating to me. The more research I've done on it, I mean, it is your life force, and you know, we deplete it daily with the rigorous stress and activities that we encounter, and we don't replenish it like we should. Which is exactly why a product like Hot Rocks, which by the way is spelled HOTRAWKS,
We're both
RAW.
sporting our Hot Rock shirt today.
Yes, we are. I'm the black on the East Coast. She's the white on the West Coast. But yeah, so we're all about replenishing it in a way that's fun and
Yeah.
easy. It's a pill, it's a supplement, you take it. And then there's other lifestyle changes you can implement to assist, as you know, with it. I mean,
Right.
exercise, nutrition, diet. And by the way, let me just say something. I have to like backtrack for 2 minutes. You just said you were a big girl. No, you're not. Sorry. I've hung out with you on a personal level. You're absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're so sweet. But I just mean I'm not a Hollywood
Wow.
skinny skeleton walking around, and and I don't want to be. So I didn't
No,
mean it in a derogatory way for me. I'm
me
just like,
neither. No,
I'm not
me
a small
neither.
girl, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Relish the curves.
yeah, and yeah, it's the psychology behind it is so amazing. I think you and I have been the same. Like I was married together with my ex-husband for 17 years. So living the life of married for the majority of my adult life and then being single now, it's like, I just spend so much introspective time just watching people and watching women that are my age that still really haven't learned or they didn't get permission because of whatever way they grew up. We have this kind of whatever way we were governed to think, in our family or religious, influence or things like that. And there's such a discerning line between appreciating and knowing who you are and really, having the sexuality of you be okay rather than it being such a stigma of such a bad thing that I
Right.
think our society has. And I know for me that's a very important thing just in my dating life. I think people sometimes put a label on me because I'm sensual and because I'm very outgoing and,
Sure.
and I'm very affectionate with people. I don't care who it is. And, it's like I could be hanging out with a homeless person and I'm no different with them than I am in any other setting.
Yeah.
And that's why the Jing is so important to me because it's about what you believe about yourself. And, honestly, for me, my creator, I feel like if I'm not appreciating who I am inside and out, that I really am just kind of saying, gosh, I don't appreciate, the beauty in every kind of creation. So yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah.
It's a
So,
really
it doesn't matter the physical appearance, doesn't matter what you look like. And like I said, I was 50 pounds overweight for 8, 10 years. I suffered many, many health ailments, as most people know my story by now. And, yeah, so it's amazing the difference that you feel when you really take care of your body and nourish it. So that's what I love about Hot Rocks because I take it just to get me, get my zing for the day and get me ready and to be on video. Sometimes you really got to have a little extra zing.
yes,
It's easy to
yes. I'm
be
like
harder on
popping
yourself.
it like can't trade shows. I'm like everyone's